His name is Marco Asensio. Come on, get in there. Last eight, Aston Villa cruise through into the Champions League. Last eight, Aston Villa 3, Club Brugge 0. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are marching on to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And look, it turned out to be a comfortable night for Aston Villa. We knew we'd mainly done the work over in Belgium last week, winning 3-1, but we still had a job to do here back at Villa Park, and we did that, and we passed it with flying colours. Look, Bruges made it easier for us with the sending off. We'll get into that in a bit. But some great performances, particularly in that second half, as the space started to open up. Marcus Rashford, again, absolutely fantastic. Every time he gets the ball, he looks like he wants to do something. Marco Asensio, Leon Bailey, who came on, both of them came on at half-time, changing the game, changing the trajectory of the game. Ian Maatsen, another really good game. Some really good, solid performances. But let's go right back to the beginning. We started off, we knew we had to keep it solid. We didn't want to do anything silly. And we know what Unai Emery is like in Champions League, in cup competitions. And the team started off, Emi Martinez in goal, and Cash, Concert, Mings, and Ian Maatsen at left-back. Might have been a bit of surprise to one or two. Boubacar Kamara and Yuri Tillemans as the two sort of deeper midfielders. McGinn in front of them with Rashford off the left, Rodgers off the right, and Ollie Watkins up front. And to be honest, it was kind of a first half where we let Bruges have the ball. They were passing the ball really well. We saw how well they passed it in over there last week, and they know where everyone is. They keep the fullbacks high. They play big switch passes and then quick one touch. But even though they were doing that, they didn't really have too much in terms of threat. They didn't really have any one-on-ones. They had a couple of sort of efforts, one that deflected and went into Emi Martinez's arms, one sort of flash cross that the centre-forward headed just wide. But really, apart from that, nothing really to trouble Emi Martinez or Aston Villa and really put the tie in any doubt. Villa, on the other hand, when they got the ball, were trying to act calm, trying to be sensible, but were caught in between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Do they go for it? Do they try and really go and attack? Or do they just try and keep possession and keep sensible? And they were kind of doing that, sometimes giving the ball away, sometimes looking a little bit sloppy, a little bit nervy at times. But as a general rule, they kind of managed that game well. But the forwards making quite good runs. Rashford was trying to make runs. You could see him trying to run in behind. You could see Ollie Watkins trying to pull off, but the passes weren't quite happening. But on I think it was the 17th minute, a long ball actually from Emi Martinez, he saw Rashford make the outside to inside run, that diagonal run off the left-hand flank. He caught the right back off guard, got in behind him. Beautiful pass by Emi Martinez. Rashford got the run on the defender. Defender has no option but to bring him down, sort of treads on the back of his legs, pulls him down. The referee took his time, but had to give Sabe the red card, and he went off. And that really changed the full complexion of the game because, yes, Bruges were trying to play their football. Yes, they were trying to keep passing the ball, but they were obviously caught out of position on numbers of occasions, and you knew the game would open up as the evening went on, and that's precisely what happened. We did have a couple of efforts towards the back end of that half, that resulting free kick. Yuri Tillemans, everyone thought Rashford was going to take it, but it was Tillemans that hit the effort. Mignolet gets down low to his right-hand side and saves it. And then some lovely play out on the left-hand side by Tyrone Mings, of all people. Gets the ball, cuts it, really nice little cut back into Marcus Rashford. Nice first touch, but just gets under his feet a little bit and instead of dragging it across the goalkeeper, hits it into the side netting. And then we did have a real comical moment from Ollie Watkins, who tried to lob Simon Mignolet from the halfway line. But really, a job done first half, 0-0 at half time. And you could see that, with a bit of injection of pace, a bit of injection of urgency, then Villa would probably go on to sort of win the game. And that is exactly what transpired. The halftime substitutions, Boubacar Kamara going off, Ollie Watkins going off with a bit of a knock, Asensio coming on and Leon Bailey coming on. And it was those two that combined within the first 5 minutes of that second half for the first goal. We'd already had a couple of little efforts. I think it was Tyrone Mings actually who had an effort. He got into the box and hits the shot, and it was Mignolet that tips it around the post. And then we keep the ball recycling on the attack. The ball goes out onto the right-hand side. Some really nice play actually across the box. And I think it might be Morgan Rogers that gets it, plays a little bit of an over-strength pass, but really good play from John McGinn on the edge of the box, holds off the Bruges defenders, plays it to Leon Bailey, and essentially you can see him buzzing around. You can see him trying to get into little areas. He runs off the defender, and a lovely little pass from Leon Bailey just behind the defence, and a first time finish from Marco Asensio into that top right hand corner, and Villa are 1-0 up, and then you can see the space really open up. Then we're kind of the shackles are off, and we're sort of cruising at that point. And sort of 3 or 4 minutes later, ball down the left hand side this time. Rogers gets played in. He could maybe take a shot himself, but he holds the ball up on the line, drags it back a little bit, and then sees Maatsen out the corner of his eye, cuts it back to him. Maatsen, first time shot, it deflects off the defender. I think it's the same defender who scores the own goal last week and into the roof of the net. And there's a check from VAR, but I think it might have been Rashford or Rogers in the initial move. Could have been offside, but he wasn't. He was onside, and it's 2-0. And soon after that, it's 3-0 to Aston Villa. Rashford again, some wonderful play, gets released down that left-hand side, runs into the box. You think, is he going to shoot himself? But no, he stays unselfish, cuts it back for Marco Asensio, and it's a first-time finish into the bottom corner, and it's 3-0. And Villa are absolutely cruising. And Marco Asensio now has 7 goals since he signed in January for Aston Villa. And I said he was the ace in Aston Villa's Champions League pack. And that is exactly what he is. Whether he's coming off the bench, whether he's starting games, he has the Champions League pedigree. He has the ability. He knows how to play these games. He's won this competition 3 times. He's scored goals in this competition. I think it's now 14 goals he's scored in this competition. And he will be that jewel in our crown. And then we have Marcus Rashford as well with 4 assists already since his time for Aston Villa. He's assisted Marco Asensio 4 times. I think he's got more than 4 assists actually. Needs that goal, but he was electric in that second half. Every time he touches the ball, whether it's a first time layoff, whether it's trying to beat a man, whether it's little intricate things in and around the box, he just lights up Villa Park. And we have many more shots after that. Yuri Tielemans has an effort that's tipped around the bar. Tick around the post. Matty Cash has a really nice effort that Mignolet saves. There's bouncing around the box that, the ball's bouncing around the box that you can't quite get a touch on it. Marco Asensio, in between his 2 goals, was released absolutely beautifully by Yuri Tielemans. A wonderful pass. He gives the keeper the eyes and just slots it. Looks like it's going in the bottom corner, but it hits the post and bounces out. So he could have had a hat-trick. Axel Disasi has an effort that comes off his shoulder that maybe was slightly unsighted and could have headed it in. And truthfully, it could have been, 4 or 5-0 in that second half. But, we'll settle for 3-0. We now have Paris Saint-Germain in the next round. Everyone kind of thought it was going to be Liverpool, but not PSG. So the European adventure continues for Aston Villa, and that will present its own challenges. We're away from home first. We bring them back to Villa Park, but the most important thing is, can we stay in the tie? But the biggest thing is we have match winners. We have game changers off the bench. Whether it's Bailey, Asensio, Ramsey coming off the bench, or if you flip it, if it's Rogers or Rashford coming off the bench, we have game changers in this team. We also have our defenders back fit now. Disasi can play, Konsa, Mings, Pau Torres came on tonight, Maatsen, Luca Dean, Matty Cash. We now have the options. And Boubacar Kamara, yes, he played the first half. He looked a little bit rusty, but he's getting his minutes back. Amadou Onana was on the bench. We have the squad now to be able to go deep into this competition. another £12 million as well into the kitty. 2 more games in this competition as well. I mean, what is there not to love about Aston Villa at this moment in time? It is just incredible. And, you know, it was a night where I think the crowd were really up for it at the start, and then kind of were a little bit, you know, well, how do we approach this? How do we go about this? But the team really turned up in that second half and really put the crowd at ease. And it was a great atmosphere and a great night for Aston Villa and for everyone associated with Aston Villa. And some big performances. I mean, Tyrone Mings, what can you say about this guy? Such a leader, you know, came off after 65, 70 minutes to a really good ovation. And he's just been phenomenal, taking us from the Championship. He's now played in the Premier League, and he's given us such leadership and such solidity at the back. And him and Konsa just look so much at home at the back. And seeing Pau Torres coming on for him as well, you can see him getting minutes is really good. And I thought the two fullbacks were excellent tonight. I thought Matty Cash was really good. He put a few big tackles in on that winger who was really dangerous to them last week. And after that, I don't think he wanted to know. And I really like that about Matty Cash tonight. Ian Maatsen grew into the game and he was excellent as it went on. Got his goal, albeit off a deflection. But, you know, those type of Champions League nights, these type of nights, he's really comes alive. And he was excellent tonight. I thought he was probably up there for man of the match, being as though he played the 90 minutes. And then in midfield, I thought Tielemans grew into the game. I thought it was a little bit sloppy initially, but some of his passing, some of his one touch and some of his vision is just incredible. And to play the amount of minutes that he's played is just absolutely phenomenal. And then further forward, I thought Rashford grew into the game. He started off quiet, but you could see the movements. You could see the type of runs he was making. And he carried on those runs as the game went on. And he started to get more and more of the ball, which is so important for forward players and attackers. And he just looks like he's enjoying his football. Such a good player, plays with a smile on his face, playing with his shoulders down. He's nice and relaxed. No Villa fans are giving him any pressure whatsoever. We just want to see him do well, and that's so refreshing for him. Marco Asensio, as I said, came on and just changes the game. I mean, we've got goals in this guy, 7 goals already. What more can you say? He knows where the net is. He's playing in his favourite position. He's controlling, he's dictating. Fantastic. And look, the whole team is a professional performance. We've got a clean sheet. We seem like we know how to approach these European games. And last season, the experience in the Conference League has really, really shown this season in the players that played in that last season. And then we've topped that up with Champions League pedigree players this season. So I could not be happier. It is absolutely phenomenal. Bring on PSG. Let's go, boys. Let's go and do it. Nothing more to say, just fantastic win. But yeah, for me, I think Ian Maatsen probably just shades the man of the match, although Marcus Rashford I thought was excellent, and obviously Marco Asensio coming on. But you let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll be back. Hopefully we're talking tactics with Gareth. He's having a few technical issues with his laptop at the minute, so hopefully we'll be back with him soon. Might even do a full breakdown, a full Champions League roundup with the lads, and just to discuss this journey in the Champions League that we've had and what to expect moving forward. So do look out for that show. We'll also have Lions Den latest with Charlie, aka Academy AVFC, and hopefully some transfer talk rumour shows as well. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Hit that like button tonight. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and get your comments and your thoughts, man of the match, your thoughts on the general and the general game, and can we beat PSG in the next round? Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Come on.